What's the word, Chicago? Back with another South Island interview. Shit, for the people at home, let them know who y'all is, man. For the ones that sleep.
I don't sleep. What's up? My name's Jasir. My Instagram, the real Jasir. You said introduce ourselves?
Yeah.
Shit, I do manufacturing. We do throw parties. We just do everything, really. But yeah.
My name is Menace. Menace for hire on Instagram, M4H. I design clothes, sew, pattern make, all that stuff. Graphic design, DJ, throw parties, make art. Yeah, just have fun with my homies. That's really it.
Bro. Alright, so shit. For the people who don't know, man, y'all was our first ever interview.
Yeah, we was
bro. Real podcast shit, man.
What was that, 2 years ago?
That's a
year and a half.
That was a long ass time ago.
That shit was in May. Shit crazy.
That's like crazy as hell. He was really the first one.
Yeah. Shit, where it all started type shit.
It's crazy how much shit changed since then.
Yeah, definitely.
Because what was that, 2021?
Yeah.
It was 2021 in May. It's hella shit that started happening since then. Like, we just started
turning up.
We just started doing everything we want to do. That's crazy.
So, shit. Y'all still been dropping clothes, so going crazy, you know. Really sparking like the underground wave type shit. Like, I want to say, like, y'all are like the up and coming like figureheads of this shit, especially with, you know, group home and the things that y'all doing with that. So, like, when it comes to the clothing, where do you guys draw inspiration from?
I think just trying new things every single drop, that's what I get inspiration from. It's just like, what can I do different with this drop? What can I do different with this drop? So I think that's where the inspiration comes, is from like doing something I don't typically do or trying to upgrade. So like some drops, you might have like a good ass blank, like this is heavyweight blanks, but before I was using like midweight blanks, but my inspiration for a new drop was like, okay, let me go crazy on like the quality of the blanks. Like I want a heavy fit. And then the designs always just come through either way. The design, that's the easy part, really. The hard part is just trying to find something new. So, like, I would say that's where I draw inspiration for. Like, my next drop, I'm trying to do, like, all garments I've never really used before. So I want to do, like, varsity jackets, tracksuits, cardigans, all type of shit. So my inspiration is always from just, like, doing some shit I didn't do before and doing it differently.
I mean, for me, my inspiration, I guess, is more, like, art-based. Like everything I do for a ghetto art studio is like me. Like everything you ever seen, like the photos, usually I taken them or somebody, like I just told them like what to do. But like usually everything I do is like based on what I want to see, or it's like a project. So I'll say my inspiration just varies really from like what's going on in my life. Like that's really the main inspiration for like what I create in terms of clothes, or like not clothes, like anything really. Like what's going on in my life is like a consistent factor on like what's being made. So.
Do you guys like ever consider the like current trends in fashion? Like what are like these what, you know, the most popular rappers are wearing, and like try to apply that, or do you just say like really fuck it, you know, now I'm gonna do me and make what I want to make?
Nah, we don't really pay attention. Like, I'm trying to think of trends.
Yeah, like I don't really know what it. Like, I don't really know what niggas.
We go in any time period and just grab a little inspiration.
Yeah, it's like whatever we want to do. That's what we want to do. It's not really like following nothing. Really.
Yeah, it's never really a trend at all. It's just like sometimes it might be something cool we see in a trend, like a little piece, but that might be it. But nah, we don't really follow like the trends and shit.
So, like I said earlier, you know, both of you guys are what I would consider, you know, becoming like staples in like the Chicago fashion scene. Like, do you ever feel like pressure to like release consistent, like, oh, I haven't dropped in a while, let me, you know, drop, or like, you know, do you ever feel like pressure to go and restock certain pieces that you know didn't intend on, but you know it's in such popular demand? Like, you guys ever feel that?
Well, the first question was like, what, feeling pressure to consistently drop? It do sometimes be pressure there, but like I be having so much stuff to do, like just get all my other orders out. It don't ever be pressure. Like for me, when it comes to like everything for me happens at the right time for the most part. Like I'll think like of a good graphic, or just find a good graphic that I want to alter, and then like just drop it for real. Or like if I have an idea I don't really force it to make like I don't really care about consistency. I just really do everything whenever I want to. So it's never like it used to be a lot of pressure for like okay, I want to drop every single month back to back to back. But then like so many orders started coming in, I was like I don't even need to keep like people gonna keep eating all the last stuff up for real. So it's really just whenever I want to put out stuff. But I do sometimes be like, okay, I ain't dropped in a while. I need to drop something. But yeah, sometimes I do never know it though.
Yeah, I agree with that point. I think like I think like I definitely be feeling pressure to drop clothes like regardless of what state I'm in. Really, like it don't matter like what I'm doing. Like I just be feeling like I have to drop something. But like the reality is like he said, we be working on a whole lot of other shit other than just like dropping clothes for our brands. Like I do like commissions outside of that and like custom work or like designs for other companies and shit like that. So it's like a lot of times my time don't be getting to go to A-Gas, so it's like hard for me to be consistently dropping to it. But like it definitely feel like a lot of pressure, but I think that pressure like is almost like a motivating force though. Like I don't never think it's like bad pressure. It just feel like come on, like we need some more swag or something. It's not like.
I think we put more pressure on each other than like actually
definitely.
listening to. We don't listen to other niggas. That's the thing. Like,
That's why we don't be dropping. Like just because you said it, don't mean I'm gonna do it. Like
yeah, because we don't never like we mainly be in our own group chats. Be like, okay, let's work on something. Let's work on. So we won't ever be pressured to like about outside people. It's mainly just like inner circle type of pressure.
Yeah.
That's the only type of pressure I pay attention to for the most part.
yeah, it's just like based off the energy that we feeling. Like we don't like force it. Like follow, like you said, like the trends. Like in order to follow trends, you gotta be like forcing shit a lot of the time. You know, that's why we can't follow trends because it's like we not on those same clock. Like we trying to like we just do it in whatever emotion we feel it. Like for like whoever it is. Like if I'm like feeling like hey I need to make a whole lot of shit, then they know okay well then let's lock in right now because like I might not feel that way next week. So like whatever emotions we in, that's just what we try to like stick to, and that's when shit don't happen because like you said, it should be happening at the right time for the right reason for the most part. So.
So, like, circle back to like kind of what you were talking about Jasir and like how, like the only pressure comes from like you guys and like your inner circle and stuff like that. Has there ever been times where like either of you were doubting something that you were doing, like breaking into like the party space that you guys are in now, or like for you, Menace breaking into like that DJ space? Like, were there ever times like that where like you needed that push?
Like pressure?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'll say the first few parties was kind of like rough throwing because like the first party we ever threw, it was like in South Shore, small as hell, and it was taxing, but we had no other choice. Right. And like I think that party, we didn't have a budget for it, so we was like, fuck it, let's do it. But like even trying to like, the first two parties was real last minute. Like the first party, I think we promoted like a few days before. But I think the second party we threw that got us in that motion of throwing hella other parties, I think we started promoting that with like a few hours before.
Yeah, it was like 6 hours before.
6 hours before, and we got like 150 people to come in, and that was only our second party. So then we was like, hold up, we just got like 150 people to slide over here in less than 6 hours. Like, imagine what we could do if we actually like time this shit and like do it, plan it weeks ahead and drop a flyer days ahead. So then that was the pressure right there. It's trying to keep. It's always pressure for every single party we have, because it's like we trying to keep throwing a good party over and over and over. And parties like real life, it seem easy, but it's so hard to throw. Like,
that's just so difficult.
You gotta find the right venue for the right price. You gotta make sure your staff is good, the neighborhood you're good. Like, isn't the neighborhood that you're in is good? Like, it's so many factors to a party that people don't understand. Like, that shit is real life hard. So it's always pressure to just throw an event and have people have a good time, because I don't ever want to be like those parties. Because I've definitely been to some Chicago parties where it was like everybody was excited to go, and then they left mad as hell, like, damn, this was a waste of my Saturday. I don't ever want nobody to come to one of our parties and leave and be like, that was pointless or whatever, like, it wasn't fun, or I should have just stayed inside. I always want to throw, like, a good experience for, like, anybody that comes to our parties. Because it's like, they giving me their money and their time. Like, they could have been somewhere else doing something else with their life, and they could have kept the money that they paid me to come to the space, but they, like, came out, like, drove, Uber, whatever. So I always want to make sure it's always good and smooth. Like, there's no bullshit happening. and like that is just a great party for the most part. So that's where the pressure. That's when I really feel pressure. Is like trying to make sure I throw a good party because I hate throwing weak shit. Like,
Oh, bro.
I think we good at like making the best for like whatever we throw. Because I think our first party had like 60 people, and we felt like them niggas after the party still. And it's like comparing that, like, if I could like talk to myself, that nigga, like, from when we first started our party, they'd be amazed by like how far we came with this shit. Like, this shit crazy for real. But yeah, that's mainly the only. That's where I feel like a good amount of pressure from when it comes to parties.
So, Menace, did how long like have you been into DJing?
Like I got on the tables for the first time in like March. Like that was my first time. Like the party he talking about in South Shore. Like I'm pretty sure that was my first time like live DJing. Like that was my first time. Like that was my first set. There was a lot of people in there that like didn't even know that, but that was my first like live set. But like before that, I ain't gonna lie. Like, have you ever seen the Get Down on Netflix?
Yeah.
Like I've been watching that shit since I was like a shorty, like 12 or some shit. So like being a DJ been in the back of my head for so many years. So like I just like fucking and tried it. And I'm like we want to throw parties, but we like don't know who to get to DJ. And that was like the problem. Like I'm gonna just solve this shit. Like fuck it. So I like started figuring that shit out and taught myself. And then like yeah, so March really like that's when I started turning up in this shit. And then from there, I just like was practicing. Like I would slide to John crib like 4 hours, like just like straight like hours and hours, just like rewind this shit, going back, like just practicing. Like that's really, yeah, like just this year, like I just picked that shit up this year, and that's just up from there really.
Now, how did For Hire Radio come about?
So like, I mean, I've always liked the thought of like being able to control the selection of like what people listen to. Like I think like curating the experience based off sound is like a very like interesting topic to me. Like I like that thought process. So like radio specifically is like niggas is you listen to exactly what niggas want you to hear. Period. That's it.
Yeah.
But like that's really not niggas not turning on the radio these days. But like you don't have to have a radio station just on 105.9 type shit. Like you could put that shit on SoundCloud and niggas still gonna listen to exactly what you telling them to listen to because it's in the mix or it's this specific premiere. So like that came about just from like wanting to not only give people who I think deserve a spotlight to like shine and have their music be heard on a greater platform than they already have for themselves, but like also just like moving in the process of like creating something that is bigger than myself and that can expand past like just clothes. Like A-Gas is not gonna be just clothes forever, and For Hire Radio is not gonna be just playlists and mix and songs released forever. Right. So it just I mean like it just comes from that kind of thought process of like growing as like a artist in every aspect. Like if I want to make clothes, like I have a clothing brand. If I want to be a DJ, I have a radio, right? Yeah. And like how do I expand that and keep doing that? That's really like the thought process.
Do you guys never think that you'll get into like throwing shows?
Do we what?
Definitely.
Like throwing shows where like you host artists type shit.
Wait, repeat the question again, man.
Like, do we ever think we'll get into throwing shows?
Oh yeah, we want to slowly transition into that. Like that's what we're doing right now. So I think last party was the first time we actually had a live performer. We had the Ponzi Boys pull up. They decent. They some new upcoming artists and stuff. Yeah, but I think this party we want to have like 3 to 5 performers. And just slowly just start having it where it's like maybe 50% performers and 50% just DJing and stuff. But yeah, I definitely want to get into like the live performances and just add more stuff to the party than just like the DJ stuff. We want to definitely diversify everything.
Do you see yourselves having like a rotating list of DJs ever, or will you just stick with like like the couple of people that like and trust?
I don't know what you think.
I mean, like, we always... The thing is, like, we have guest DJs. Like, the next party, we do have a guest DJ. So it's like we always going to invite, like, the community in because that's how this shit works. So it's like we always going to rotate, like, who's sliding and who's chilling with us because last time we just Jabba pulled up. So it's like... and you know Darius did a couple of parties.
Oh yeah,
with us,
Darius
too.
did
So
do
it's
the
like,
first. He did.
that's what I'm saying. Darius was
He
on the
did
first party
DJ
with us.
set
So
actually
I'm
for
like,
the first party. That shit
yeah,
crazy.
so I'm like, we always be having niggas that's not just me or Cohen or like Jasir, like that's on the music tip. It's like we always like be bringing other niggas in to like turn up with us, cause like we want them to turn up too. Like you,
But it'll be rare, like sometimes if we bring a new nigga in, because we don't like bringing new niggas in. Like,
yeah, like we
for me,
usually
I don't like having like
it's a
having
connection
unless it's
before
like
that.
performers or like something. But I don't know, the people that are there, I like just keep everything like tight knit and stuff. Cause I want the experience to be the same. Like, say I bring in like a bogus ass DJ who fucks up the speakers and does all this shit.
exactly.
Like, then the party experience is just isn't there. So like, whatever DJs that are already like DJ the party or whatever, I like to keep like those group of people closer more so than just outsourcing somebody else. Cause it's like I want to create that same energy but better. So that's why we might bring in one person at a time. Like just slowly add energy to the party. But yeah.
Yes,
I might start DJing. Fuck it.
Bro, y'all be on the boards for real,
I
man.
might do it for a little set.
Shit, appreciate y'all boys for coming out, man,
Alright.
chopping it up with us.
Yeah,
Always,
for sure.
man.
Always, we love South Africa.
Man, don't.
That's how it be.
Bro.
One on
That's
one.
what I mean.
Love.
Yep.
Shit, appreciate y'all. Alright, so that was
Hey, Josh,
a
you
go,
pass me
my
that
boy.
cookies bag right by you.
It's like crazy.